Welcome to Engine Adventures. Today, the 2021 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon with the Eco Diesel. We're towing about 5,000 pounds. We're gonna do some tow tests with it, get you guys a little bit of a fuel mileage, but most of all, I kind of want to talk about MotorTrend's testing and why they had so many troubles towing with this. So we're all hooked up, ready to go. You can see our tongue weight right there, just a hair under 500 pounds. Trailer's just a hair under 5,000. I know for sure the tongue weight with a couple of different scales with the two batteries in there is just about 600. So minus those two batteries, that's pretty close to the tongue. Maybe we are down 100, 120 pounds. Here is the backup camera, and you can see even without zooming how accurate that is. And then if we hit the zoom, you can see that the hitch ball is pretty much right under. I'm off to the side a hair, but that'll drop on no problem. No tow haul mode, so we don't have any different settings to push besides maybe turn down the seat heater for when we're towing. So we'll do the best we can with what we have, and let's get going.
While there is no physical button for the tow haul mode, Jeep does say that the truck automatically detects when you're towing and makes the necessary adjustments to the transmission shifting and engine response and all that stuff to help keep the engine and transmission cool while towing.
The nice thing with this diesel engine is that it has plenty of torque, so it's no problem towing this much weight. This truck's not a big truck. I will put the weight up. I'm guessing, well, let's take a look. So it's gonna be harder for you guys to see this, but the gross vehicle weight rating 6,450 and the payload 8,900. That puts this, well, sorry, not 8,900, 899. So 900 pound payload, 64. So this weighs about 53. Sorry, 55. So 5,500 pounds, weighs just a hair more than the trailer does, which should mean that the trailer's tows quite well. Once you get into the same weight as the tow vehicle and more, it starts to get a little bit harder on it. So this trailer is big for this truck, and I know that. I do have a lot of experience towing. I work for a company that makes hitches, so I'm not worried about towing this home from work, but it does could use a weight distribution hitch with sway control for sure, but it's really not that bad. As far as just weight distribution, sure, the back of the truck settles a little bit, but it's nothing absurd. It doesn't really need weight distribution for this weight, but it does need sway control for that big blocky trailer. You can see in the mirrors, sticks out past the edges of the truck. It's a wide, 8-foot wide trailer. It's better suited to be towed behind 3/4 ton, well, at least a full-size truck. Half-ton truck can pull this trailer no problem. So, but again, with this diesel engine, I'm not even trying, and it's just going. The transmission tuning is done really well. I do like right there, you can see it's in drive and in 4th gear. So I like that it shows you what gear it's in all the time. I haven't done anything to make it show that. You can put up the temperatures here, so if we hit the apps button and hit the off-road pages, and that'll only take like a long time to load. I don't know why it takes so long to load. It does actually bother me a little bit that it takes so long, but there we go, we're getting close. Little Jeep drove across the bottom and there. So when you're towing, that is probably the screen you want to have up. It gives you all the information, and you can cycle through that information here on the driver information center, but it's nice to have it all there in one place. You don't have to go looking for it. Here we are getting on the freeway. There's a little bit of bad timing. We're gonna have some cars merging with us here. Going 50, and by the way, I didn't floor it. I didn't put the pedal all the way to the floor, so no problem. 65, that was the end of the on-ramp. This was an uphill on-ramp. Now we're at 70, easily up to speed and merging, and that was without even flooring it. So I can feel the weight behind me a little bit. It definitely is a lot of wind resistance, I should say. With this trailer, there's a ton of wind resistance. It slows you down as soon as you let off the gas, which does help this remain more stable, I should say. MotorTrend was towing an Airstream with really pretty good aerodynamics, and probably quite a bit smaller trailer than this. It was longer. MotorTrend's trailer was longer, weighed roughly the same, but was a little bit shorter in height, a little bit thinner in width. So this one will have a lot more wind resistance than that one that MotorTrend had. And you can see here down to 60 because there's a truck pulling a trailer in front of me, so we'll go ahead and change lanes, get back up to 70. I don't have a spot where I can really test the sway control, but on my way to work, really early in the morning before the sun came up, it was dark out, and there was very, very little traffic on the freeway, and I was able to, kind of swerve a little bit and see how it responded, and it was adequate. So you could feel the trailer pushing the truck around, and with the trailer being near the same weight as the truck, that's expected. But as far as overkill or the electronics having to kick in to straighten out the trailer, I didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. It just handled it no problem. Another thing I like, it did actually shift into 8th gear. So it kind of hangs out in 7th gear for the most part when towing. I don't know, I did go down the backside of that overpass or whatever it was. There's a river that, anyway. But going up it just drops down into 7th gear, or usually it stays in 7th gear and you have no problem. So I might manually shift this. From all my towing tests, whatever, we're getting 11 miles per gallon over 36 miles. Not bad. It's not, of course, as good as I expected. This trailer has such high wind resistance that I have gotten pretty bad gas mileage with anything. So a Cummins with the 5.9, I was getting around 11. A Cummins with the 6.7, about the same. That was the 5.9 was an 03, so it's pre-emissions. The 6.7 was brand new. It was a 2019, I believe, maybe a 2020, and it was down around 10 miles per gallon, so just a little bit less. This trailer just gets bad gas mileage. Towing with the half tons, Ram Rebel, I believe that one was up around 13, and the GMC Sierra AT4 was also around 13, 14. I think it was around 13 towing with the inline 6 diesel. So not too bad, but I would expect maybe a little better. Pushing 70, it looks like it's going down just a little bit. So on my way in this morning to work and driving around, I was closer to 65, pushing 70 miles an hour because I'm in traffic. Don't want to slow the flow, and I feel safe with it now. After driving it this morning and doing my tests, I have no problem driving this at 70 miles an hour. And here we are now, hanging out in 7th gear for quite a while. So that is kind of what I experienced on the way in. It just stayed in 7th gear, but going over that overpass, don't have to downshift. Going up slight inclines, don't have to downshift. One other thing of note is it is a diesel engine, and you can manually shift to engine brake, but without the tow haul mode and no exhaust brake, you don't really get a ton of engine braking compression on the to slow your combination down. So yes, it's probably a little bit better than the gas engines, but I would really like Stellantis, I guess is what it's called now, to add in the functionality of the exhaust brake throughout this lineup, so it can have better braking power. I'm gonna wait, it's gonna move over, but anyway, so the exhaust brake can help so you don't wear out your service brakes going down, you know, steep hills and whatever. The same thing with the Ram Rebel, they don't give you an exhaust brake in it. It kind of acts that way on its own when you're in tow haul mode going down a hill. It kind of gives you some of that, but like I said, this one doesn't have the tow haul mode, and it doesn't really have a ton of engine braking going downhill. So I felt a little bit shaky there. I don't know what that was from. It felt like a gust of wind because I could hear it in the truck. Not sure. It looks like we're hitting traffic. But anyway, I could feel that shake a little bit in the truck. It didn't seem that upsetting. When I checked the mirrors, the trailer was still pulling just straight behind the truck. Nothing out of hand. And the truck definitely does wander a little bit with this weight on it, and that's where a weight distribution hitch would help, but it's nothing over the top. It's not wandering, like pushing me out of my lane or anything. And honestly, as weird as it sounds, it feels better than the Ram Rebel did. That truck seemed to float around a ton when towing. It floated around a little bit empty, but when towing, it was totally all over the place. Not like overly dangerous, but just, it was a lot more than I expected, and more than this vehicle.
A quick interjection here. We are going to be giving away this Diode Dynamics 6-inch LED light bar in the fog light pattern. And along with that, we will include the installation harness that has a switch and the battery connector. And then, of course, the plug so that the light bar plugs right in. Super easy to install. To enter, follow the link in the video description, and good luck.
So basically all that has remained steady. Transmission 201, oil temp 239, coolant temp, it's been up to 220, it's down to 217 now. Yeah, it's been really consistent, nothing to worry about on any of those. This is, of course, 37 degrees outside. All right, there are the temps once we're parked. Final MPG was 11.3. Really, that's okay, not too bad. Like I said, I was expecting maybe a little better, but there were absolutely no issues, no incidents, no problem at all towing with an adjustable height ball mount, just like MotorTrend did. I think that they either were way under on their tongue weight, even under what they thought it was at 9%, or maybe they threw some weight in the back of it, back of their trailer that is, and even lowered the tongue weight a little bit more by doing that. Not sure what happened with them, but I had no problems towing with this thing.
I'm just going to let you guys watch this in the background as we discuss what MotorTrend did for their testing in the Truck of the Year competition. Many of you have probably already heard, but they made some pretty bold claims that the Gladiator is awful at towing. I want to remind you that we are on an adjustable height ball mount here, and towing roughly 4,700 pounds with a 475 pound tongue weight. I think the actual weight of this trailer is 4,650 pounds. MotorTrend had an Airstream test trailer, and they claimed it weighed 5,200 pounds with a 467 pound tongue weight, which puts it at about 9%, which is lower than obviously than the recommended 10%, but not significantly lower. I'm wondering, they didn't actually measure any of this. This is just what Airstream told them. So if the trailer was maybe without batteries, or the propane tanks on the front were empty, or maybe they threw some gear in the back of it and lowered the tongue weight even more, I'm not sure. But As you can see here, this trailer tracks perfectly fine behind the Gladiator at 65, 70 miles an hour. No issues at all. You won't likely see any sway at all, maybe a tiny bit, but nothing upsetting for the truck at all in our testing. The issues with MotorTrend, I think, had to have been from that low tongue weight. The Airstream is a little bit smaller trailer than this one, a little bit more aerodynamic and a little heavier, so it should potentially tow even better than this, as this one is like pulling a billboard down the road. But still, they had a lot of issues, and I'm not sure why exactly. Another thing in their testing, they only tested the Gladiator as a mid-sized truck. They had a Frontier. I imagine it was not equipped with a receiver, so they weren't able to tow with it, but they didn't tow with any other mid-sized trucks. They towed with the Ram Rebel TRX, the Ford Super Duties, and I believe one other one. But anyway, they towed with a few other trucks, much bigger trucks that would have no problem handling this weight, and that's why they didn't have any problems with any of the other vehicles towing it. But again, they didn't tow with another vehicle as small as the Gladiator is. So let's take a look at the Jeep owner's manual. And here you can see that when towing over 2,000 pounds, Jeep recommends using a weight distribution hitch. And if you are using weight distribution hitch, many of them also include sway control, especially if you're going to use something like this equalizer hitch or an E2 trunnion or round bar, something like that. There are a lot of hitches, as long as you're not using a chain style hitch, that will provide you with sway control as well, which further improve the handling and driving characteristics. Another thing that Jeep notes in their owner's manual here is they do what's called a 100% weight distribution, or 100% of the weight that is taken off the front axle when you load your trailer onto the trailer hitch is replaced through weight distribution. That's Jeep's recommendation. Not too many companies go that far. I know with the Ram trucks, it's like 2/3 of the weight back onto the front axle. With Ford, some of them are as low as 50%, some around 75%. Depends on the vehicle, but Jeep makes the claim of 100% returning to the front axle. And I know I need to do a weight distribution video covering what all this means, how exactly it works, and there may be one of those in the future. For now, you can check out the Equalizer webpage or YouTube channel for all of that information, but I do plan on doing one of those videos in the future because there's a lot of misinformation out there. Anyway, with 100% weight distribution, you get a lot more friction on your sway control as well, so it'll be even more stable. There are two key takeaways that I'm trying to get at here with all of this. Number one is, had MotorTrend properly set up their trailer with at least a 10% tongue weight, they most likely would have had no sway issues with the trailer. The second item is, had they followed Jeep's recommendation and used a weight distribution hitch, they most certainly would have had no problems towing whatsoever. And if you take a look around the internet at other people who are towing with the Gladiator, you will see that no one's really reported any issues apart from MotorTrend. So I really truly believe that it was just a poorly set up trailer, and not following the owner's manual of the Gladiator caused them some pretty serious towing issues. This video's gone on long enough. Let's go ahead and close it out. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, be sure to comment down below. I read pretty much every comment and respond to most. If you liked what you saw, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos. And if you didn't like it and give me a thumbs down, be sure to comment down below and let me know why. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.